Writing, Sarah Plain and Tall, week 30, day 2. We're on chapter 4. I did not send this home with you, so you do have to watch this to do your review. Okay, so the dogs love Sarah first. Lottie slept beside her bed and curled in a soft circle. Nick leaned his face on the covers in the morning, watching for the first sign that Sarah was awake. No one knew where Seal slept. Seal, remember that's the cat she brought with her, was a roamer. Sarah's collection of shells sat on the windowsill. A scallop, she told us, is for picking up the shell one by one. Is a sea clam or an oyster a razor clam? And a conch shell, if you put your ear, you can hear, put it to your ear, you can hear the sea. She put it to Caleb's ear and then mine. Pa listened too. Then Sarah listened once more with a look so sad and far away that Caleb leaned against me. At least Sarah can hear the sea, he whispered. Papa was quiet and shy with Sarah, and so was I. But Caleb talked to Sarah from morning until the light left the sky. Where are you going? He would ask. To do what? To pick flowers, said Sarah. I'll hang some of them upside down and dry them so they'll keep the same color. And we can have flowers all winter long. I'll come too, cried Caleb. Sarah said winter, he said to me. That means she will stay. Together we picked flowers, paintbrushes, and clover and prairie violets. There were buds on the wild roses that climbed up the paddock fences. The roses will bloom in early summer, I told Sarah. I looked to see if she knew what I was thinking. Summer was when the wedding would be. Well, might be. Sarah and Papa's wedding. We hung the flowers from the ceiling in little bunches. I've never seen this before, said Sarah. What's it called? Oh, that's called bride's bonnet, I told her. Caleb smiled at the name. We don't have this by the sea. We have seaside goldenrod and wild asters and woolly ragwort. Woolly ragwort, Caleb whooped. He made up a song. Woolly ragwort all around. Woolly ragwort on the ground. Woolly ragwort grows and grows. Woolly ragwort in your nose. Papa and Sarah laughed, and the dogs lifted their heads and thumped their tails against the wooden floor. Seal sat in the kitchen chair and watched us with yellow eyes. We ate Sarah's stew and the late light coming through the windows. Papa had baked bread and that was still warm from the fire. The stew is fine, said Papa. Yeah, Sarah said and nodded. The bread, too. What does yeah mean? Asked Caleb. In Maine, it means yes. Do you want more stew? Yeah, Caleb said. Yeah, echoed my father. After dinner, Sarah told us about William. He has gray and white boat named the Kittiwake. She looked out the window. That is a small gull found way offshore where William fishes. There are 3 aunts who live near us. They wear silk dresses and no shoes. You would love them. Yeah, said Caleb. Does your brother look like you? I asked. Yes, he is plain and tall. At dusk, Sarah cut Caleb's hair on the front steps, gathering his curls and scattering them on the fence and the ground. Seal batted at some hair around the porch as the dogs watched. Why? Asked Caleb. Well, for the birds, said Sarah. They will use it in their nests. Later, we can look for the nests with the curls. Sarah said later, Caleb whispered to me as we spread his hair about. Sarah will stay. Sarah cut Pa's hair too. No one else saw, but I found him behind the barn tossing the piece of hair into the wind for the birds. Sarah brushed my hair and tied it up in back with rose velvet ribbon she had brought from Maine. She brushed hers long and free and tied it back too. We stood side by side looking into the mirror. I looked taller, like Sarah, and fair and thin. With my hair pulled back, I looked like a little like her daughter, Sarah's daughter. And then it was time to sing. Sarah sang a song we had never heard before as we sat on the porch, insects buzzing in the dark, the rustle of the cows in the grass. It was called Summer in I Comin' In. She taught it to all of us, even Papa, who sang as if he had never stopped singing. Summer is I coomin' in, I do a sing a coomin'. What is sumer? Asked Caleb. He said sumer, the way Sarah had said it. It's summer, said Papa and Sarah at the same time. Caleb and I looked at each other. Summer was coming. Tomorrow? Said Sarah. I want to see the sheep. You know, I've never even touched one. Never, said Caleb. Never, said Sarah. She smiled and leaned back in her chair. But I've touched real seals, and they are cool and slippery and slide through the water like fish. You can cry and sing. They can cry and sing, and sometimes they bark like little dogs. Sarah barked like a seal, and Lottie and Nick came running from the barn and jumped up on Sarah and licked her face and made her laugh. Sarah stroked them and scratched their ears, and it was quiet again. I wish I could touch a seal right now, said Caleb, and his voice was light. His voice was soft in the night. So do I, said Sarah, and then she sighed and then began singing the summer song again. Far off in a field, a mellow lark sang too. Okay, so do your chapter 4, week 30 paper that goes with this, and then take a picture of it, hand it in. See you later. Gotta put that down there.